My mom has 3 kids from her first marriage: Ava, 28, Ben, 27, and Mia, 25. Their dad died 20 years ago, and my mom met my dad 17 years ago and had me, a teen male, pretty soon after. My parents got married a few months after I was born. I've always known my half-siblings tolerate my existence and don't outright show any hate, but they don't like me either. I also feel they don't love me or see me as their brother, but I'll get to the point. They're civil with me, but I always feel very left out around them. Christmas, when everyone gets together, sucks because it becomes so clear how much they resent, dislike, or are indifferent to me. They'll talk with cousins about everything, and they laugh and joke and bring them gifts. And not just cousins their age, but cousins my age and younger than me too. But they never talk to me like that. It's strained, and they look to change the subject. Mom had to ask a few years ago if they brought anything for me because they had handed out gifts to everyone except for me. And then they'd be like, "Oh, yeah." And there was no interest in watching me open a gift, but the interest was there for others. One time I remember we were asked to all pose for a grandkid photo, and Ava, Ben, and Mia had their arms around each other, and they were leaning close to the cousins, and I was sort of on my own until some of my cousins told me to step closer to them. It was allowed, but I know afterward my grandma told my half-siblings that they should have been warmer to me. I was 7 or 8 at the time. I know Ava and Mia said that they only have one brother. I think Ben says he has none, but I've never heard him say it either, but I've heard the girls say it. When Mia got engaged, it was really awkward with some of her fiancé's family not knowing who the heck I was at the engagement party. The 3 of them have always been so close. Even in the photos taken, I felt like I was added for some unknown reason and wasn't a sibling. The wedding's coming up soon, and my parents were talking about it. They said that we'd be staying for the weekend because the venue is a little too far to go just for the day. At that point, I decided I wouldn't go, so I told my parents to leave me at home when they went to the wedding. It became a big thing, and they said that I had to attend my sister's wedding. I told them how I felt, and Mom said we're still a family, and she'd talk to them all, but Mia especially. But I am not going to the wedding. I refused to go. They were like, "You'd be grounded for a long time if you refused to come." I told them to ground me for a year because I'm not going. I heard Mom talk to her kids on the phone, and she was saying how they should make an effort to let me know that I'm wanted there. My parents asked if I stood by what I said, and I said yes. I'm not grounded yet, but my parents are angry. Am I the idiot? Your older siblings have treated you poorly for years, and your mom and dad have allowed this to happen. This is their mess and their failure. Not the idiot to not go. Mia won't miss you anyway. She barely even acknowledges you. Remind them that they can be angry all they want, but it's not the child they should be angry with, and that you'll be happily involved when the adults get their act together. I don't understand why they're angry. It's not like this came as a surprise for them. They witnessed this for years how you were treated, but they expect you to be your sibling's doormat forever? Your parents are trying to force a relationship, and the argument, "we're family," is not good enough. You don't need to put up with their behavior anymore. You're old enough to start choosing the people you want in your life, and you should choose those who really love you, value your presence, and support you. I don't understand why they're angry. Mom's angry because as long as everyone toes the line, she gets to maintain the appearance. Dad's probably angry because he can't get away with what OP's doing. LOL. There's absolutely no reason for you to attend a wedding where you will be made to feel unwanted and rejected. Your mom's being really unfair to you because she wants to preserve her ideal of one big happy family in spite of all the evidence to the contrary. OP, I'm sorry you lived through all that. No one should have to grow up dealing with that. I admire the advocating you're doing now for your own peace of mind and prerogatives. My parents are divorced, and I, teen female, used to bounce between my mom and dad's every other week. But since last year, I've stayed with my mom more than with my dad. Dad's remarried and Mom isn't. My stepmom and Dad have 3 kids together, pre-tween, young grammar school age, and preschooler. My dad's house has more money, and they go on vacations more than my mom can afford. This year, my mom was able to get money for us to go on vacation, but it overlapped with my dad's Disney booking. I wanted to go on vacation with Mom, and I told Dad that Mom and I already had the plans. He said it was the first Disney vacation, and he figured I wouldn't want to miss out on my half-siblings experiencing it for the first time. But this was the first vacation Mom and I could do since I was 9. It's been over a month since the vacations, and in the last week or thereabouts, my dad and stepmom went from disappointed, but sort of understanding, to mad that Mom didn't sacrifice the vacation with me so I could enjoy seeing my siblings experience Disney for the first time. They said they were sorry my mom denied me this opportunity to enjoy the amazing moment. I told them they were getting a bit carried away over it all, and it wasn't a big deal. They said that given how important my siblings are to me, it was a huge deal to make me miss out on those memories and experiences with them. I told them I didn't care about being at Disney for their first time. I said I never cared about seeing their first vacation, etc. That they care as their parents, but they're not such a huge deal in my life that I feel I'm being denied their milestones. This came as a shock to them, as I am their much older sister, and I told them I might be older, but I would rather have memories with Mom than them. My dad and stepmom didn't handle what I said well, and maybe I was wrong. They told me my half-siblings adore me, and they believe I think the world of them too. The fact that I admit to not feeling that way and not caring is a cruel thing. They also accuse me of leading everyone on. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Were they angry because they actually were expecting you to help with the kids? Oh no, my unofficial, unpaid babysitter has bailed on me. Let me make you feel bad about it by using the kids' emotions against you. Agree. They couldn't use you as free babysitting, so they could get some alone time at Disney. Your dad and stepmom are wrong, rude, and ridiculous. This should all be a non-issue. Trips are over. Trips are over. You went with your mom. There needs to be no more discussion. Calling you cruel and saying you're leading them on is unacceptable. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. My friend's wedding is tonight, and I'm a guest, not in the wedding party. I ended up feeling ill last week, and my symptoms are at their worst right now. I gave my friend the heads up that I was sick when my symptoms started, and on Friday when my symptoms got worse, I messaged my friend that I might not be able to attend. For context, I believe my symptoms differ from most people's when I get sick. Everyone tells me they recover in 2 to 3 days, but I get sick for 2 to 3 months. I feel like I cannot breathe whenever I get sick and start wheezing. My chest always hurts when I cough, and I frequently get coughing attacks that I can't stop, leaving me red in the face. I always get called immature for deciding to stay at home and canceling plans when sick or physically tired. At this point, I know the phases, and I will not get better soon. When I told my friend 2 days ago that I wouldn't be able to attend because I was sick, she was pretty upset. She suddenly FaceTimed me and then hung up after I answered. She messaged me, "It looks like a little cold. Suck it up, get over it, and come to my wedding. LOL." We argued back and forth, where I said I think it's better if I rested in bed, but she thought it was impolite of me to miss her big day, especially when her wedding cost $200 a person, so thousands of dollars. In the end, she said it's up to me whether I decide to be a good friend or not, and if I didn't go, I can just PayPal her wedding gift to her. I feel bad for missing her wedding and upsetting her before her big day, but I'd also feel miserable if I attended and would need to bring a tissue box because, TMI, I'd be coughing up a lot of mucus. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your friend should have thanked you for staying home and not getting people sick. She should have also said she hoped you would feel better. That's what a friend would do, not get over it, bring your germs to the wedding. No one cares. It's not like people won't be close to each other or anything. And of course, if she had gotten sick, you'd be blamed. The bride would rather kill grandma than miss out on her toaster oven to recoup her wedding cost. OP, if you're too sick to go, then you shouldn't. If I were a fellow guest and you were next to me, coughing your lungs out, I would be upset. Has the world not learned this lesson yet? However, being sick for 2 to 3 months isn't normal, and I highly recommend seeing a doctor. I second that. Seriously, I've been sick for 6 weeks. X-rays revealed long-term lung damage, probably due to whooping cough some years back. Good on you for not going. Your friend is just another entitled bride who thinks the world revolves around her. What if your hugs and kisses ruined her honeymoon? She only cares about money, and I'm disgusted that she asked you to send her money, even if you don't attend. So please, don't give her any money, and don't let her guilt trip you, and find better friends to have around you. Update. After reading some comments, it may not be a cold. I thought it was because it happens during cold and flu season, and I basically get all the symptoms, but a worse version. It could be some pneumonia I'm getting every year. It's been like this since I was a kid, and I honestly thought everyone's cold was like this until a few years ago, because everyone told me I was an immature baby. In the past, I've gone to walk-in clinics when I couldn't see my family doctor, and they prescribed more or less the same things and called it a cold. So that's also why I didn't question it. The wedding is going on right now, and some friends texted me asking where I am. I explained the situation to them, but they think I should have gone anyways. LMAO. I booked an appointment with my doctor to figure this out. Thank you all. I'm trying to type this up in a way that is neutral, and I don't sound like the meanest younger sister ever. I do think it's more nuanced than that. We were on the beach this morning, and my cousin and his wife brought his jet skis. My sister, 24, rode one for a few minutes and then declared herself an expert. My cousin said that we could have fun, but his cardinal rule was don't go past about 200 yards from the beach unless you were with a person on the other jet ski. On my sister's next turn, she set a path perpendicular to the beach and went straight out into the ocean as fast as she could. My cousin had the other one on the beach, filling it with gas. He screamed after my sister, but she kept racing into the ocean. When my cousin got into the water, he had trouble starting the second jet ski, and my sister was just a tiny speck way out on the water. He never did get the second jet ski started. We could still see her, but it looked like she was stranded. My mom freaked out and called 911, and after an hour or so, we saw a Coast Guard boat riding toward her. Maybe 20 minutes they pulled up to the beach with my sister in a blanket, sobbing that she was the most afraid she's ever been because she was lost at sea. My mom took her into our verbo and I guess made her soup and tea and listened to her blubber all afternoon. When she finally came out of our room, she wanted to hold court about her traumatic experience, and when she said the words, "A navigation error caused me to lose sight of land," I laughed as hard as I ever have in my life. It wasn't a navigation error. It was her being a dumb idiot. She basically screamed, "Screw you, Lindsay. I almost died." And I laughed even harder. She slammed her PSL on the table and slammed the door to her room. My mom says I owe her an apology, and I wasn't taking her trauma seriously. Am I the idiot? Edit. She claimed she couldn't see the land and was lost. We saw her the whole time. ROFL, not the idiot. That crap is funny. And now that she's safe, we can say it's funny how dumb she was. She dodged a Darwin Award. She was truly lucky. She's lacking sense and safety awareness. I hope she's thankful to the Coast Guard. I'd honestly have a lot more sympathy if she was just like, "I messed up. I thought I could go further than I was supposed to, and it wouldn't be a big deal. But then I got turned around and didn't know which way was back." But she didn't want to take responsibility. A navigational error is her way of completely ignoring that she caused that situation. Honestly, it's crazy to me that she ignored her instructions immediately. And I'm glad she's crying. I hope she remembers this. She wasn't operating the jet ski responsibly. That jet ski probably weighed between 500 pounds and 1,000 pounds, and she was likely traveling at 50 miles per hour or more. She could have killed someone or herself. I've noticed that arrogant people with zero skills or common sense are always the ones that get the most upset after getting themselves into trouble because they refuse to listen to people who know what they're talking about. Zero sympathy. Hopefully, your sister quits the victim act soon and realizes she should just be embarrassed about being such a fool. I'm a nearly adult female, and my sister's 21. We've hated each other, and I mean legit hate. I don't even recall ever thinking a positive thing about her. She's home for the summer and is a general pain in my butt. My parents were out of town this week, and she had a party for all her friends. I'm not being mean, but it's a fact that my sister and her friends are very large. I guess my sister's more thick, but the others are big. They got into the hot tub, and while it was too many people, no matter what, because they were so big, a huge amount of water overflowed over the side. The hot tub was right outside my window, so I could see and hear that the pump wasn't getting enough water after they got out. I yelled out my window that she needed to put the hose in it since it wouldn't run dry. She told me to mind my own business. I went out to do it myself, but the pump was making a weird noise by the time I got there, and then the breaker popped. The next day she did fill it up, but she didn't know why it wouldn't start, and I didn't care enough to tell her about the circuit breaker. When my dad got home, he wanted to sit in the tub because he has a really painful back condition, and basically, running the pump without water ruined it, and my dad was furious. My sister lied to him and said it was just like that, and even she and her friends didn't get to use it. I told him that actually no, she and her fat friends overflowed it, and then she did run the pump dry, and she told me to mind my business when I told her how to fix it. My mom is so freaked out about my sister's self-esteem that she's mad at me for calling my sister fat. My dad is furious with my sister because he needs the hot tub to relax his back, or he doesn't sleep. My dad is mad at my mom for coddling my sister, and the house is even more tense than usual. My sister says I caused all the problems because I'm a snitch and a fat shamer. There's so much more, but I'm running out of room. Am I the idiot? My mom is so freaked out about my sister's self-esteem. That's the actual problem, where people will deny reality to live in denial. Your sister sucks and even chose to lie about something you tried to help her prevent while being obnoxious towards you. Not the idiot. There is a lot of resentment between these two sisters for many reasons. I can imagine the mother is giving OP's sister a lot of passes out of concern for her self-esteem. The issue isn't that she's fat. She was dismissive and ignored the damage being caused to the pump and then lied about it. Your father has a medical reason to use the hot tub, which is more important than your sister's self-esteem or feelings. Mom's coddling is dumb when she literally broke it. I mean, I agree completely that the sister caused the problem, broke the hot tub and lied about it. But that being said, the fat comment was unnecessary. OP would have probably escaped backlash from her mom had she omitted that. At the same time, their size contributed to how the hot tub broke, but mentioning it wasn't necessary. The fat comment was just added in because OP hates her sister. There was no way to explain how the weight contributed to the problem, but that's not what OP did at the moment when speaking with her parents. I'm not giving her a pass on the fat shaming just because she's right. There was a slightly better way to handle it. Everyone's the idiot here.